Hi, my name is Nakul Kabra, and I'm a product director at Truecaller. I lead the Truecaller iOS business unit, and I have roughly about 15 years of experience, largely in mobile development, backend development, and product management.
Can you tell me about your journey to leadership so far then?
For sure, I think it might be a bit long story because it's not a very linear journey, so to say. And so yeah, I started off as a iOS developer roughly 15 years back, and I joined a small team, a fast-paced startup, which was focused on building iOS apps. So like back then, if like I knew nothing about leadership per se. I mean, the only thing I knew is that I have a boss and he runs the team. That's what I knew about leadership. So, and I was just focused on building apps, and I was very passionate about that. But then early on in my career, the entrepreneurial bug kind of bit me. I kind of felt that okay, I know how to make apps, I know how to run a business. So I quit my job. I started a small consultancy. I started taking on some contract projects, and I started recruiting consultants whom I could engage in building these products and so on. But then I didn't have enough experience in running that, and I kind of struggled with it. And eventually, I realized that it was too early for me to try something of that sorts. And I really wanted to be with folks around me, be a part of the team. So I, I, I again went back to take a job, and this time again, I found another small startup with like two, three mobile developers, and I started working with them. And a year into it, one fine day, my manager he he comes in, and he told me that we are raising a new round and we are scaling up the team, and we will be hiring 8-10 more mobile developers. And would you be interested to lead this team? And I had no idea how to react, and I instantly said yes, and and then I mean, it kind of sounded like a fun challenge to take up. But then as I got into that role, I started to realize like there are new kind of problems, and what does it mean to lead? What does it mean to manage? And so on. But throughout that journey, I think that was probably my first flavor of what leadership is like. That was the first time I started to deal with uh, like how to set up a vision, lead those people to go achieve that vision, like push people to do their best and so on. So yeah, I think and by the end of that year, then the business kind of pivoted into something else, and I eventually went back into being an individual contributor. And and then again in 2019, I was hired into the strategy team at Truecaller, and this was a very interesting role where they were giving me the opportunity to build something completely new, and this wasn't related to the Truecaller apps as such. So I had the freedom to build a new team, build a new product, and pretty much had the freedom to operate like a founder while getting all the support from Truecaller. So I built a great team, which built a great product, and eventually I took up another initiative at Truecaller, which was to rebuild the Truecaller iOS app, and that has led into what I do today. So yeah, that's been my journey. Not a very straightforward one, but I feel that if it was for not those diversions in my journey, I probably wouldn't have learned better.
Could you also share a pivotal moment in your career that made a significant impact on you?
Yeah, I think the same situation that I said just now, which was when I was randomly offered the opportunity to lead a team, like a big team of developers. That, when I look back, was definitely a pivotal moment, like almost an inflection point in my career. It changed a lot of things for me. More importantly, it changed how I look at things, like my overall outlook about how things run, how businesses run, and widened my view per se. And like that definitely has been a big pivotal moment. And I can also think of another moment which is equally interesting and important for me, which was about how I moved from engineering into product. Right, like the first half of my career was a very engineering heavy career, I would say. And interestingly, in 2018, I was interviewing at a company. I had applied for the role of an engineering manager, and after a few rounds, this company came back and they said that hey, we really like you, uh, but are you sure you want to apply for the role of engineering manager? And I was like, yes. Why do you ask? And they're like, but you speak like a product manager. Like, would you rather be interested to take up a product manager role? And that really kind of hit me. And when I reflected on that, I realized that even while I was a developer and whatever I was doing so far in my career, I always had this product first approach in my thinking, even during development and so on, where I was obsessed about users, obsessed about user experience. I was thinking about how to build a business around the things that I build and so on. So, so that whole switch, as randomly as it happened, was again a big pivotal moment in my career.
What's one piece of career advice that you wish someone had given you when you were starting out?
Yeah, I like this question. It's very interesting to kind of reflect on such things. But I think one, maybe I think I can talk about this phrase which I heard from a colleague a few years back, which was about which said that it's better to ask forgiveness than permission, right? And when you think about it contextually in a professional setting, I think it comes down to how you take risks, right? And I think as leaders, you're often taking decisions, small or big, and some of these decisions could be risky decisions, which as a young leader, you struggle through taking such decisions, and you kind of want to reach out to or turn to your leader to either take support or kind of push them on taking the decision than you taking the decision. And I think as you become a more seasoned leader, you have to take more decisions yourself,
Mm.
and the risks that you imagine are probably not as bad as you think they are. And then hopefully, even if it's a wrong decision, you could recover from it. So, in such cases, what I feel is that it's better to take those risks, and hopefully you have a leader above you who trusts you with such um, with mistakes, and also sees that this is a way of you growing up, that you make mistakes, you don't wait on taking permission every single time for any decision that you want to take. So, and taking this back into where I started my career. So when I started working, I used to feel like an imposter, and that really made it difficult for me to take decisions, at least big decisions. And but I learned over time that I need to take certain risks anyway, right? And without waiting on someone to approve of those decisions.
Mm.
And I think eventually you grow up much faster and much better if you build this independence of taking risks or taking big decisions by yourself.